Hey guys, we're live again. Here we go. First, let's get out of the way some, technology fun as I figure stuff out. There we go. I'm gonna blast this out to my just Evelyn's, my personal page. That's what I like to do. I like to start it on the one and then kind of pull it out. Let's see. Why is this not letting me do this? I got to start with the tech problems. It's like, it's just no fun otherwise. Share. Share. No. Share in my timeline. There we go. There we go. There we go. We are sharing. Let's see, morning motivation time. Woohoo! Oh, okay, I guess we can't have spaces. And post. Okay. All right, so hey guys, once folks start to, if we start getting folks, last week we got a few, so that was kind of fun. But this is our morning motivation. Here it is Saturday here in the Pacific Northwest at 8 a.m. And so we're going to go topic of the day today, getting through it. I would say, okay, we're calling it, I'm calling it today, weathering the storms. So, okay, first of all, let me just get this right out of the way right now. I have a bit of a cold. Let me try to fix this lighting a bit. That's a little bit better. That's a little bit better. So, is it? Whatever. We're just going to play with that a little bit. I don't mind a little bit of real-time show prep as we go. Got a little bit of a cold, so I am drinking some hot drink. I've also got some Halls, got the menthol going. Everything's fine. So welcome to the live video for this week. The topic of the week is weathering the storms. So no matter what you do, no matter how successful you are, you're going to have setbacks. Like that's just the reality of life. Okay. So, but the question isn't, will the storms hit? The question is, how are you going to respond when the storms do? Because the thing is, they're going to hit. It's going to happen. So one of the things I just recorded my first YouTube video for Bright Star. Woo woo! So look out for that. I plan on posting it on Sundays. So keep an eye out for that. But one of the things I say in that video is one of the biggest myths that we were sold, especially in the United States, is happily ever after. Okay, there's no such thing as happily ever after. Okay, you don't just find the prince, marry the prince, and then live happily ever after. There's no such thing. So life goes on, right? So after the beast turns into the man and you do the dance and you sing the song, life goes on. Like you can't help it. So how do you deal with the stuff that's going to hit you in life, right? And so this topic is on my mind this week because I'm starting this new site, I'm starting Bright Star Coach, right? Like I am doing baby steps. That's my plan. Start with just putting content out there, putting some of what I've learned out there with the eventual goal of maybe starting a coaching business down the line. But right now, this is all free content. This is all just me sharing the lessons I've learned through my life. So this is essentially a blog site, right? It's not, I don't have business paperwork. I'm not a business yet. But so I'm starting to get my social, playing the social game. I got myself, obviously the Facebook page, as you see, and I've started to launch it. And then the next one was Instagram. And so I started to launch the Instagram. And earlier this week, seriously, it was like 4 posts. Okay. I get put in Instagram jail. And I was like, what? And I go to post to Instagram and they're like, your account has been banned for violating our what's the word? Our policies, our terms of service. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, first of all, it didn't tell me what terms of service what terms of service I supposedly broke. It didn't tell me at all. I'm going to check the audio real quick. I see I've got a watcher here. It didn't tell me what terms of service I broke. It just was like, you're banned. So I was put in Instagram jail this week. And it was very frustrating. And I have to admit that in the wake of that, you know, starting something new, I was thinking, well, maybe this is a terrible idea. Like, maybe this is why I've never done this before. Sure, I've learned a lot of lessons. Sure, I have a lot to share, but maybe it's not even worth it. Okay. So I got hit with a setback. I got hit with, we're just going to shut you down. And that's the thing. Instagram jail, I couldn't do anything. I couldn't log into my account. I couldn't do anything. So what do? So finally I'm like, okay, I just need to focus and solve this issue. I just need to go and do the thing that they want me to do. And that was to take this, like, I have it still. It's this awful picture of, like, I had to write down this number. It looked like a mugshot. Like, it looked like a mugshot. So I sent it to them. And then you know what I did, though? I got on Twitter because I was like, okay, Instagram, fine. I go on Twitter. I started a Twitter account. And then I waited, and after a day or so, Instagram let me out of jail. Maybe it was an error, like, I don't know. But I'm using this as an example of a setback, because for a person like me who's just getting started, brand new content creator, brand new to all this stuff, been studying and learning for decades, and then finally I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do something, and then to immediately get shut down, it hurt. Like, it was hard. And so you guys can't see it, but my exercise bike is right over there. And that bike is like church for me. I get on that bike every single day. And I was on the bike in Instagram jail. And I was listening. I was like, I knew I had to get my mind right. And so that is one of the big keys. Like, setbacks are going to happen. So don't fool yourself into thinking setbacks aren't going to happen, because they're going to happen. Something's going to happen. But what do you do? Okay. And I knew I had to get my mind right. So I get on the bike. And I have playlists. So I talked about this on Friday. I have playlists for everything. I have playlists for motivation, for crying, for being happy, for working out, everything. I have playlists both on so I'm an Apple user. So I have Apple Music playlists, and I have YouTube playlists with motivational videos and things. I have one, well, for different reasons, right? Relaxation, motivation, whatever. I have one specifically called Not Today, Satan. So I put that on, and I put it on random, and the video that popped up is one of my favorite motivational videos. It's called something like How Great I Am. So there's this great Muhammad Ali quote where he says, I'll show you how great I am. And so this video, which I will link in the comments, so I'll link it in the comments of this video after I'm done. I'll share it with you guys, because I've been watching this same motivational video for years. Same one, but there's a part in it, I think it's from one of the Rocky movies, where Rocky says, it's not about how hard you can hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. Okay. And that has been my life. Like, and look, I know I'm lucky. Like, my life hasn't even been that bad. Like, I'm the first to say that I have had a blessed existence for my whole life, but I have been hit hard. So, you know, some of you guys who know me personally know I lost my older brother in 2014. He was 37 years old, had a stroke. Boom, he died. And then 18 months later, my mom had an acute aortic dissection 4 days after leaving my house and going back to Cleveland, dead. So how do you do that? That's like a hard hit. And so I've had to learn how to get hit and keep going, like keep moving forward. And how do you do that? And the way that I do it is, number one, accept that these things happen. And when I talk about acceptance, I'm talking about, I'm not talking about condoning. A lot of people hate the word acceptance because they're like, well, I don't want to accept. Like when I was in grief support, for example, you know, we would talk about this and people would say like, I don't want to accept that my mom got cancer, you know, like that sucks. Like, I don't want to accept cancer. And it's like, no, you don't, it's not that you're condoning what happened, or I don't want to accept that somebody abused me in the past, or whatever the case may be, right? It's not that you are condoning the behavior. It's that you're accepting the reality that's behind you. So with this Instagram jail, back to my Instagram jail example, I had to accept that I was in Instagram jail. Like, that's number one. It's like, I don't know why they put me in there. I do think, like, in retrospect, Zuckerberg, if anybody's watching this, like, I do think it was probably an error, or maybe like some of the posts that I did, because I did, you know, I shared a picture from a movie, like maybe that was inappropriate, like, because it wasn't like strictly original content. So I have since taken those down. Like, I've learned my lesson. And so rather than sort of like number one, trying to push against that mentally and be like, well, I don't want to be in Instagram jail. I'm just going to pout about it and like be mad. You have to accept it. That's step one. Like, I just had to accept that this bad thing happened to me. And then from there, you just look at, okay, what are the options that I have, right? So like when I suffered these losses, I felt that same way. Like, especially well, both of them. I can't like say one or the other, right? In grief support, we used to say we don't compare losses. And like, even for me personally, having lost 2 people within the span of 2 years, I don't compare those losses. But like, you know, I used to talk to my mom every single day on the way into work, literally every day, right? And so when she just died like that, like I wasn't prepared. I wasn't ready. I hadn't like, we hadn't sort of, you know how like sometimes when somebody's sick, like you kind of pull away and you kind of know, no, like it was literally like one day she was here, one day she wasn't. So I had to accept that. And that was incredibly hard to accept. So I guess that's the other thing I want to tell you guys is like, acceptance is not easy. Accepting the hard things that happen to you is not easy. It's not just a little flip a switch and like, hey, I get it now. Like it's going to be hard. But again, it's not about how hard you can hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep going, right? So you have to take those hits, you have to take those storms, and then you have to keep going. And I think like, especially in the pursuit of a goal. So if we're talking about this in the context of a goal, so whether or not you're watching this and you have a fitness goal, a business goal, whatever goal, right? It to me, it's what's important is you got to get back to like, what's my purpose? What am I trying to do? Because this setback happened. Okay. I'm going to accept it. I'm going to accept that this setback happened, but now what can I do to get back towards my goal and what I'm about? So if you're trying to build a business or you're trying to build your career and you have a setback, I've had so many setbacks in my career where, you know, especially trying to move to the next levels of things, right? We're like, for example, here's a perfect one. When I knew I wanted to make the transition into management, I had mentors, I had people who were there for me and saying, hey, you should apply for these management positions. And so I did. Like I had people pushing me, like I had my advocates pushing me and saying, apply for management. You can do it. I believe in you. And I did, and I didn't get the job, right? And so you're in this mode of like, dude, I was told, like you told me to do this. So you feel this hit of why didn't I get the job? But that's the thing is you have to accept that you didn't get the job, or you have to accept the reality of that. And then ask, okay, well, what's my goal? What am I about? I want to be a manager one day. So I'm going to keep going. To me, that's what professionalism is. To me, like ultimately that's what separates amateurs from professionals. When you're an amateur, if you hit a hard thing, you can just quit because you're just doing it for fun. If it's no longer fun, then don't do it. Like that's, you know, I have a lot of things in my life that I'm doing for fun. Here's a good example is my obstacle course racing stuff. Like I love it. Like, don't get me wrong. I love to do Spartans and things like that. Like I get a lot of joy out of them. I did the Beast and frankly, it kind of just wasn't for me. Like it was 13, like I'm glad I did it. Like I'm really glad that I can say like I completed the Spartan Beast. It was a half marathon with obstacles, but I didn't get that. Like I'm glad I got the trifecta, but I'm not the type of person who needs to do that. Like it wasn't my favorite thing. And so like I've made the decision within me of like, that's not going to be my thing. So, and that's fine. Like I'm an amateur. I'm not getting paid to do that. I don't have anything to prove, right? I've been through so much harder stuff. I have nothing to prove out there on the field. So I'm like, you know what? I want to focus on the shorter stuff. Like that's what I enjoy. I enjoy 5Ks. I enjoy Spartan sprints. And I want to get my family in there. Like, so again, it's like, what am I actually about? Am I about just challenging myself at every turn? No, not me. Like, not in that context. So I don't need to do a Spartan Ultra. I don't need to do another Beast. Like, I'm okay with not doing those things because I don't need those things to like push me, if you will. I mean, those other, I have friends and folks who they do need that. And that's a big goal of theirs. And I think that's great. And that's the thing is, what are you about? I'm about pushing others now too. So I want to get my family in. So how do I do that? Right. So that's the thing is like when these hard things happen, like when the tough things happen, you have to kind of decide like, what am I about? Like, do I really want this thing? enough to take those hits and keep moving forward. I'm kind of using a bunch of different related examples here, but if you take it back to the loss and the grief, I needed to continue life, basically. So in that case, like, I remember having a moment where after my mom passed away, especially, I was back in Ohio and I was laying on a yoga floor thinking I'm defeated. Like, I thought this was the end, right? And I didn't want to get up. I could have just stayed on that yoga floor for the rest of my life. But no, it was like, I had a 2-year-old at home, So for me, that was what got me up off that floor. That was what took that hit and made me want to keep going. And so, that is the question, is like, how can you accept these hard times and then keep moving forward towards your goals? It's important to know what your goals are. It's important to know what you're about. And maybe we'll talk about that in a future week. I just wanted to talk a little bit about weathering the storms and weathering these bad things, because like when this happened to me this week, there was a moment where I thought, okay, forget it, right? Where like I wanted to quit. Like, there comes a moment where you want to quit. And even like during the Spartan Beast, for example, like there were moments where I wanted to quit. But in that particular case, it was like, no, I want to finish this. Like, if nothing else, I want to finish this. And then I can reassess. And I guess that's the other aspect, is it's not that you can never reassess your goals. Because I get it. Like, not everything is for everybody. But if you have a goal that you really, that's your goal and that's what you want to do, keep moving towards it. Accept these setbacks, accept the failures. You're not condoning them, you're accepting them. And then you're asking yourself, okay, what am I about? What am I really about? What do I really want? Okay, now that I know that, I'm going to keep moving forward. So that's the key there. So I love these little things. I'm going to keep doing them. The plan is to start posting to YouTube more, so keep an eye out for that. Otherwise, though, see you guys. Awesome. Bye.